Let's try to look at biology paper 2. Otherwise, we come to Big Jack Institute where we make biology very easy for you. So these are the subjects or the courses which I teach. That is 100 kwacha per subject or per course per month. Then if you want to join my online tuition, you can WhatsApp me on this number. So we are looking at the structured questions. The first question is focusing on the muscle. So it is saying the diagram below shows some muscle cells in the human body. So this one is showing the cardiac muscles. So we have structure P. We also have part Q and also the nucleus. So the first one is asking us to identify the structures labeled P and Q. So according to what we can see here, Q is representing the cell membrane. Then for P is representing this part here, which is the cytoplasm. So we can say cytoplasm for P. Then for Q we can say cell membrane, or selectively semi-permeable membrane if you want. Then for the next one, it is asking us to define the term tissue. So when you talk of a tissue, it's just a group of similar cells that come together or that work together to perform a specific function. So we can say a group of similar cells that work together to perform a specific function. So that definition is for a tissue, but you can also define in different ways. But what is important here, you have to mention the term similarity in terms of similar. So they must be similar in terms of the structure. As you can see, this one here is similar to this one, although the shape may be different, but it has to be similar in terms of the way it is looking, and they must be performing the same function. If they are involving in excreting something, if they are involving in absorbing something, they must involve in the same function. That is what it means. And then for question B, since this one is a cardiac muscle, so the question here is saying name the type of muscle that is similar to the type of a muscle shown in the diagram. So we know to say that this is the cardiac muscle. This is because it has a striation. Okay, it has striation. Now when you talk of the other tissue or the other cells which have the similar structure to that of the cardiac muscle, these are going to be the skeletal muscles, because skeletal muscles, they also have striation like the way this one is looking like. So you can say skeletal muscles. So cardiac muscles and the skeletal muscles, they share similar structures in terms of striation. So skeletal muscle. For Roman numeral number 2, it is asking us to name two structures that are present in plants and not in animal cells. So number 1, we can talk of chloroplast or chlorophyll if you want. Then I can also talk about the cell wall. Okay, let me just use this one here. I have to say cell wall. Then why are we not including the vacuole? A vacuole can be present in animal cell now in a small amount. So the first priority answers that they are going to look for here is chloroplast or chlorophyll, as well as the cell wall. So these are the two answers that they are going to look first. Then for question 2, it is saying the diagram below shows a sample of blood. Let me say the sample of blood taken from a patient and observed under a light microscope. So we have the white blood cells as well as the red blood cells. So how many red blood cells are touching the line shown in the diagram? So as you can see, this is a red blood cell and this is a red blood cell and this is a white blood cell. So we just have two cells or to red blood cells. Then based on the observable features in the diagram, describe and explain one way in which a red blood cell is adapted to its function. So what you can see here, the one which I'm shading, is the biconcave in shape. So we can say biconcave in shape, biconcave in shape. So why is it biconcave in shape? That is to create more room for carrying hemoglobin. So to create more room for carrying hemoglobin, so this is H, hemoglobin, not like this. Then globin. Then from there we are done. So thank you very much for watching, and remember to subscribe for more videos like this.